Hi, my name is Colleen Prue, and the following presentation explains my vision statement regarding my future career plans as a non-traditional educator. I will explain how being culturally aware in my learning environment will ensure success for my learners and I. In addition, I hope to explain multicultural awareness, the components of culture, and how celebrating diversity and inclusion can be successful in learning. To preface, my vision statement is based on 6 core concepts from our course and supported by academic resources. I hope that my vision is clear so that my goals for success are organized and applicable at all stages of my career, and I can revert to this slideshow at any time. The first course lesson on how to achieve cultural awareness in my learning environment forced me to analyze how we learn, why we learn the way we do, and how our own cultural experiences influence learning. As we are all individuals from a variety of backgrounds, I strive to organize a learning environment for all types of learners. According to O'Neill's article, it is important that educators discover personal values and patterns of learning through face-to-face interactions. These interactions and connections are valuable in assisting all types of learners to be successful in the learning environment and in life. I hope to live by Cowhey's expectations of compassionate actions and role models on how to achieve a greater joy and fulfillment from life by living vulnerably. In Black Ants and Buddhists, I learned the value of engaging with the many ways of being compassionate. I learned that in hidden curriculum, I can teach concepts like responding to tragedy, understanding empathy, and comprehending history and change. My vision statement must be backed on my own knowledge and preparations on types of learners based on personality types and behavioral response. I believe that engagement with personality and I believe that engagement with personality and understanding how we learn can lead to student success. The excerpt from Verene helped me understand the capacity for constantly expanding the range and accuracy of one's perception and meanings can shape community culture and awareness within a learning environment. Moving on, the next concept shaping my vision statement is based on learning environment, space, place, and material culture. According to the course presentation on culture in schools, place, and space, it is essential that my learning environment allows students to experience a variety of situations in which they react to and draw meaning from freely. The learning environment must thrive on their personal values, security, comfort, transparency, and environmental awareness. I hope that my learning environment allows students to discover their own passions, strengths, and the goals so that they can succeed in their futures. In addition, non-traditional education allows me to take a different advantage and a different approach to the learning environment when we move outside of the classroom. I believe that more variety in our learning environments can further human connection and meaningful relationships. Based on an internship I completed at Crow's Path in Burlington, Vermont, I learned the value of allowing children to discover their connection to place in nature. Furthermore, this means that material culture is not necessary in my learning environment. I believe that material objects like posters, quotes, clocks can all facilitate learning. However, I also believe that students have the capacity to learn through understanding their value in a learning environment. In Lesson 4, I was able to explore the achievement gap and how understanding cultural biases can influence learning. In my learning environment, I hope to give students the opportunity to teach and engage with students from diverse backgrounds about their own values. It is important to remember that we are all biased, and in the course PowerPoint, we are reminded that individuals are all different from different economic, social, family, and cultural backgrounds. According to a release from the White House Press Office Secretary of Education in 2014, effective teaching, challenging coursework, facilities with modern technology, or a safe school environment are all resources that lead to a successful future for the student. In connection to my learning environment and the achievement gap, I hope to utilize resources that provide students with equal opportunities to succeed in their careers. Furthermore, my vision is to create a learning environment that values self-efficacy. In order to do this, I will role model a growth mindset so that I can foster better relationships and connections with my students that focus on their strengths, goals, and passions. I must also celebrate the cultural differences between us to minimize cultural bias within my learning environment. As I develop a better understanding of why and how I should be culturally aware as a non-traditional educator, I analyze the concept of culture as disability. The course PowerPoint, Culture as Disability, explains the deprivation approach as the idea that people fail because they don't have the right kind of culture. If they're lacking their cultural capital, they will never be able to achieve the standards that schools are looking for. Hence, they will fail. I hope to avoid this and celebrate diversity in culture through storytelling of personal experiences. This way, we can avoid cultural conflict and cultural depravity issues in my learning environment. Furthermore, decreasing negative student interactions that are reflective of cultural conflict will occur through language comprehension that goes beyond barriers and student collaboration for motivating their success. Learning from Goodwill Hunting and the argument that occurred between two students of different academic and economic backgrounds, I hope that I can interpret and minimize cultural conflict by utilizing these tools for education that come from a variety of backgrounds. Now that I am confident in my vision on interpreting cultural conflict in my learning environment, I strive to engage with core rituals that provide students with the opportunity for success, comfort, security, and regularity in their learning. In connection to current events, pop culture influences learning, and I strive to use it as an assistive tool to reinforce positive messages, values, and practices. However, it's not the only tool. Based on the article, Cultural Politics, some tools for achieving my vision include a classroom engaged with music, film, television, advertising, sports, fashion, toys, magazines, and comic books. My core rituals can overlap with pop culture to model the value of how we teach and how it influences our daily life, rather than just the formalities. Furthermore, I appreciate Fishman's reflection on the 3 R's, which are to foster creativity, impart a thorough knowledge of our world history, literature and art train minds in scientific method of inquiry, offer vocational training, develop problem solving, foster imagination, develop independence, impart skills of social interaction with adults and peers, and support good moral character. I appreciate and strive to incorporate these values in my learning environment as a result of my vision for student success. The last course concept that shapes my vision is to be a culturally responsive, non-traditional educator. In order to be culturally responsive, I must understand the values of multicultural education and the 5 dimensions according to James Bank. The dimensions are content integration, knowledge, equity pedagogy, prejudice reduction, and empowering school culture and social structure. Banks explains that at least 5 dimensions must exist within the learning environment in order to transform ourselves and transform the world. In addition to multicultural teaching, I can role model lifelong learning by gaining knowledge of cultures and ethnic groups, how they affect learning and behavior, and how educators can change classroom instruction to embrace the differences among individuals. My goal to be culturally responsive as a teacher will allow me to fulfill a purpose mentioned in our course presentation on the topic. The goal is to build bridges of meaningfulness between home and school experiences, as well as between academic abstractions and lived sociocultural realities. My goal as a non-traditional educator to teach about ethnic issues is a result of my passion for alternative perspectives and how they can provide lifelong learners with a wide range of voices that can provide a better understanding of history, purpose, place, and connection. According to the course PowerPoint on ethnic studies, by sharing stories, histories, struggles, and triumphs of these people on their own terms, we can gain knowledge on how to respond in our own cultures. In conclusion, all 6 course concepts can be deeply analyzed and supported by many resources. I am thankful for the opportunity to engage with storytelling and education and enhance my cultural awareness. Thank you for listening.